Okay, so welcome to today's session. We start from question number 2. And our first question here, we've been given that solve the root of 2x plus 1 is equals to 3. So our primary goal here is to find the value of x. Okay, so how are we going to find that value of x? So let's see how we do it on our board here. So we are solving a there, which has the root of 2x plus 1 is actually equals to 3. Okay, so how can we find the value of x? Okay, so whenever you have a square root, it's advisable to square both these sides. Okay, we know that if you square a square root, then it's going to cancel out with the power, right? Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to write this as 2x plus 1 is equals to what? 3. And then we are going to introduce a square on both sides. So we shall square this side, and then we shall also square this side. Okay, so see what I've done here. So this square here, the 2, is going to cancel out the square root. So what are we going to remain with? We are going to remain with 2x plus 1 is actually equals to, what is 3 squared? 3 squared is 9. So this is what we have. Okay, and then from there, just put the like terms together. Okay, so it will be 2x is actually equals to 9 minus 1, which will give us 2x is equals to what? 8. And then we can divide by 2 both sides. This side and that side we divide by 2. We are going to get x is equals to what? 4. Okay, so I'm pretty sure all of you have gotten this one because it's very simple. Just have to square both sides and then you solve for x. Okay, so that's how we can solve A. Okay, let's now try to solve B. Okay, so what do we have on B? Let's check. So on B we have the square root. We have 2 multiplied by the square root of x is equals to x minus 3. Okay, so we have this situation where we have 2 and then square root of x is equals to what? X minus 3. So what do you think we should do here in order to find that value? Okay, so the primary goal is the same basic thing that we did on A. We are going to square this side. Here, let me write it down. So 2 root of x squared is equals to, and then this side we are going to square the x minus 3. Okay, so we are going to square this guy like that. Okay, and then here when we square this 2 root of x, okay, it means we are distributing this power to the 2 and to the root of x. So what we have is we have 2 squared multiplied by the root of x squared. Okay, so we are distributing these 2 to the 2 and to the root of x. And then on the other side, it means we just have x minus 3 multiplying by x minus 3. Okay, so we know that this one we shall expand it to x minus 3. And then we have another x minus 3. Okay, so here the 2 squared is going to become 4. And then the root of x squared is just going to become x is equals to, and then here now we have to multiply this x with everything here and this minus 3 with everything here. Okay, so let's start with the x. So it will be x multiplied by this x, it will just be what? X squared. And then x multiplied by the minus 3, it will be minus 3x. And then minus 3 multiplied by x, it will be another minus 3x. And then minus 3 multiplied by minus 3 is going to be what? 9. So this is what we have. So on the left-hand side, we have 4x, which is equaling x squared minus 6x plus 9. So we see that we are going to come up with a quadratic equation here. Okay, so let's take everything to the left-hand side. Okay, let's take this 4x to the left-hand side. So we are going to have x squared minus 6x minus 4x, and then plus 9. Of course, this will just equal what? 0. Okay, and then from there, what are we going to do? We are going to add these like terms together. So it will be x squared minus, what is 4 minus, what is 6 minus 6 minus 4? To be minus 10x, and then plus 9, and then this is giving us a 0. Okay, and then from here, we see that we have a quadratic equation. So we can solve this quadratic equation by any method that we are comfortable with. We can use completing the square, we can use the factor method, or we can use the formula method, which is the simplest. Okay, but in this case, I think let me try to use the factor method. Okay, so I'll say factor, sum, and then product. It should be product factor sum, right? Not factor. Okay. I don't know what I'm saying there. Okay, so we're saying this is equals to 0. So let's find the product, the factor, the factors, and the sum. Okay, so the product, we are going to multiply the coefficient of x squared with the 9. So we are going to get 9 as the product. And then the sum is the coefficient of x, which is a minus 10. Okay, so what do you think are the factors? The factors will just be minus 1 and minus 9. So minus 1 and minus 9. If we multiply minus 1 and minus 9, we get 9. If we add this minus 1 and minus 9, we get negative 10. Okay, so let's replace this 10 here with a minus 1 minus 9. So we are going to say x squared minus 1, of course, with the x. So we're going to write minus x, and then minus 9 with x plus 9 is equals to what? 0. Okay, and then from here we can group these guys. We can group the guys into the factors. So this guy will go with this one, and then the minus 9 will go with this one. So what do we have in common in this first bracket? We have the x is common, okay? So what are we remaining with here when we remove 1x? We're going to remain with x and then minus 1. And then here, what is common? We see that the minus 9 is common. So if I take out the minus 9 here, what am I going to remain within the brackets? I'm going to remain with x here, and then here, I'm going to remain with a minus 1. So that when I multiply minus 9 with the x, I get minus 9. Minus 9 with the minus 1, I get back the positive 9. So be careful with the signs there. And then we are saying this is equaling what? 0. Okay, so we have those factors now. So this is the first factor. And then the other factor is the 9, the x and the minus 9. So we have x minus 9 as one factor, and then the other one is x minus 1, which is equals to what? 0. So if we get this x minus 9 and equate it to 0, we are going to get x is equals to what? 9. And then if we get this 1, x minus 1, we equate it to 0, we're going to get x is equals to what? 1. So these are our two answers to the equation, this one here that we had, x minus 3. Okay, so we try to test these answers to see if they're going to give us the same answers on both sides. Okay, so that's a tricky part about radical equations. You have to test the solutions that you found. So if we say 2 and then root of 9 is equals to 9 minus 3, will this equation be true? So we know that the root of 9 is 3. So 3 multiplied by 2, it will be 6. And then on the other side, it will also be 6. Okay, so 9 works. Let's try 1. Let's try this one here. Okay, what if I said 2 root of 1 then is equals to 1 minus 3? So this will be what? 2 multiplied by the root of 1, which is 1. So this will remain as 2 is equals to, and then on the other side, we have a minus 2. So we see that this 2 and this minus 2, they are not equal. Okay, so meaning this one here, it cannot be the solution to this equation that we had here. Okay, so the only solution that you're going to get is x is equals to what? 9. this is the only solution that will work. Okay, so every time you are given a radical equation with a square root somewhere, always test your solutions. If you find more than one solutions, make sure you test the solutions. Okay, I hope that is clear. All right, so any questions on how we got the 9 there? Any questions? Okay, no questions. Okay, let's look at C. Okay, let's look at C. So C, we have 2 minus root of x is equals to x minus 4. Okay, so we have 2 minus root of x is equals to x minus 4. So how can we solve this? Okay, so the primary goal here is to eliminate this guy, the root of x. So we are going to make this root of x be on a side that is, it should be on its own. It shouldn't have a minus 2 or anything. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to write 2, and then I'm going to bring this x this side, and this 4, I'll bring it this side, so it becomes a positive 4. And then I'm going to take this minus root of x to the other side, so it will become a what? A positive root of x. Okay, and then from here, this 4 and this 2 will give you a 6 minus x. Okay, and then this will be equals to the root of x. And then when you reach this point, you know what to do. To eliminate this square root here, we'll have to square both sides. Okay, so if we square this, it means we have 6 minus x and another 6 minus x. And then on the other side, this root and this power is going to cancel, so we have x. Okay, let's expand this. 6 multiplied by 6, you have a 36. 6 multiplied by minus x, you have minus 6x. And then minus x multiplied by 6, we have a minus 6x. And then minus x multiplied by minus x, you have a positive x squared. And this is equals to what? X. Okay, so bring everything to the same side. So we have, I'll start writing by x squared, this one. And then this here will give us what? It will give us a minus 12x. Okay, and then this x, which is positive, it's coming to this side, so it will become a minus x. So it means here we have a 13. Okay, so minus 13x, and then plus 36 is equals to what? 0. Okay, so this is the quadratic equation that we have now. So can we solve this by factor method? Yes, we can, because I can see the factors there. Okay, so product, factor, and then the sum. So what is the product? The product is 1 multiplied by 36, which is 36. The sum is minus 13. And then what are the factors? The factors will just be minus 4 and minus 9. So when you add this, you get minus 13. When you multiply them, you get 36. Okay, so we're going to replace this guy here with a minus 4 minus 9. So it will be x squared minus 4x minus 9x plus 36 is equals to what? 0. Okay, and then from here we can group them. As usual, we can group them. Okay, so let's group them. So this one goes with this one, then the minus 9 and 36 go together. So what is common here is the x. And then what is remaining is the x and minus 4. Okay, and then here what is common, we are going to get the minus 9. We're going to remain with the x. And then here, for us to multiply this minus 9 with a certain number to get positive 36, that number should be minus 4. Then this is equals to 0. So we have this factor and that factor outside. So we have x minus 9 and x minus 4 is equals to 0. Okay, so that is what we have there. Okay, so if I equate this to 0, I'm going to get x is equals to 9 If I equate this to 0, I'm going to get x is equals to 4. So notice that we have found two answers, okay? So it means we have to test these answers in our original equation. So our original equation was 2 minus root of x is equals to what? X minus 4. So let's test 9 and 4 to see if they both work in this equation. Okay, so let's get 9. So this will be 2 minus the root of 9 is equals to 9 minus 4. So this will be 2 minus 3 is equals to, what is 9 minus 4? Okay, this side we are going to have a minus 1 is equals to, this side we're going to have a 5. So this is not equals. So it means 9 is not an answer there. Okay, let's test 4 to see if it works. So 2 minus root of 4 is equals to 4 minus 4. So this would be 2 minus, what is the root of 4? It is 2, is equals to 4 minus 4 is 0. 2 minus 2 is 0. So this one works here. Okay, so the only answer will be what? X is equals to 4. The x is equals to 9. We are going to discard it. This one here is not a solution. The only solution is this one here. Okay, so any questions there, guys? Before we go to D. Okay, so I'll proceed to D. Let's see what is on D. Okay, so D, this is a very good question because we have two radicals or two square roots like that. Okay, so pay attention to how we are going to do this one. So we have root of y minus root of y plus 7 is equal to 1. Okay, so root of y minus the root of y plus 7 is equals to 1. So how do you think we are going to solve this one? Okay, so we are going to solve this one by making sure that one side only has one radical, or it only has one term that has the square root. Okay, so what does that mean? It means we are going to have the square root of y is equals to, and then this one here, we're going to take it to the other side. So this one will be 1 plus the root of y plus 7. Okay, then when we reach here, we do the usual. Okay, we are going to square this side, and this side we are going to square everything here, like that. Okay, so we know that when you square this side, we're just going to remain with y is equals to. Then when we square this side, it means we have 1 plus root of y plus 7 being multiplied by 1 plus root of y plus 7. This is what it means. Okay, so now let's expand this guy. So 1 multiplied by 1, it will be 1. 1 multiplied by this root of y plus 7, it will be the same thing, root of y plus 7. And then let's go to the root of y now. So this root of y plus 7 multiplied by 1, it will be the same thing, root of y plus 7. Okay, and then root of y plus 7 multiplied by the root of y plus 7. So if these radicals contain the same expression here, and then you multiply them like that, it means this root is going to cancel out this root. So what are we going to have? We're just going to have plus y plus 7. Okay, I hope you're following. If you have any questions, you're free to ask. Okay, and then from here, we notice that we still have the square roots in this equation. Okay, so what are we going to do? We are going to leave the square roots alone, and then we are going to take whatever does not have a square root to the other side. So let's do that. So this we have y. If I take this one to the other side, it will be minus 1. If I take this y to the other side, to be minus y. If I take this 7 to the other side to be minus 7 is equals to, what I will remain with? We remain with the root of y plus 7 plus the root of y plus 7. So that is the same as 2 root of y plus what? 7. So this is what we are remaining with. Okay, and then from here we see that this y cancels out this y. So it's like we have a minus 8 is equals to 2 and then root of y plus 7. Okay, so what do we do here? We square again. We square this side and we square that side. So when you square 8, you're going to get 64 is equals to, this square here distributes to the 2 and to the root of y plus 7. So it will be 2 squared multiplied by the root of y plus 7 squared. Okay, and then from here, we see that we are going to get 64 is equals to, what is 2 squared? 2 squared is 4. And then here, this squared and this root cancel out. So we are going to remain with y plus 7. Okay, and then from here, we can divide by 4 both sides. So that 4 into 64 is going to give us what? 16, right? You're going to give us 16 is equals to, here, this 4 cancels this one, so we have y plus 7. Okay, so it means our y will just be equals to 16 minus 7. So y is equals to 9. Okay, so our y is equals to 9. That is our final answer. Okay, so let's try to prove that this answer works. So what was the initial equation? So let's do root of 9 plus, oh, that is a minus, right? We see if we're going, oh, this was a negative 1. Okay, but does it change anything since we squared both sides? Yeah, it does. Okay, I see. I made the mistake, but I hope you've seen the procedure, right? Okay, so this one here should have been negative 1 from the question. But I solved it as 1. Anyway, it's fine. We'll still solve it as 1. So let's try to put in 9 here to see if it's going to work. Okay, if it doesn't work, then we'll see. So the square root of 9 minus the square root of y, which is 9, plus 7 is equals to 1. Okay, so this one here, it means it's going to be 3 minus 9 plus 7, it will be the square root of 4. I mean, this will be 16. 9 plus 7 will be 16. Okay, and then, okay, it doesn't change. So the square root of this 16 is 4. So you have 3 minus 4, which is equals to minus 1. Okay, so it's true. So even if I made the mistake here of putting 1, the answer will still be the same, because here I was squaring this minus 1. So if you square a negative number, it still gives you a positive, right? So if I did this multiplied by minus 1, it still give me this. So the answer is the same. Okay, the answer is the same. And it proves here that 9 is indeed the answer here, because you're going to get 3 minus 4, which is equals to what? Minus 1. And this 3 minus 4, still minus 1 is equals to minus 1. Okay, so that's how you solve that one. Okay, but let me just include those to my negative for those who can be confused. So if I put a negative here, means here to be negative. This multiplied by this to be 1. And then this multiplied by that, it will be minus here. So let's change somewhere. Okay, but it's still ultimately going to give us the same one. So here to be minus, here to be minus. Okay, and then this multiplied by this, still get this. So when you take this, that side, you still get minus 1. When you take the y, you still get this. The only difference will be here, you have a minus. And then here you have a minus. Okay, so minus 2 squared still going to give you a 4. And then this remains the same. We're still finding the answer as what? 9. And we've tested 9, we see that it works. Okay. Right. So any questions there, guys? Okay, if there are no questions, let's solve one last question on this radical thing. Okay. The other one, I'll leave it for you guys to solve. So I'm going to solve one of these. So let's do that. Okay. So let's solve this one here. Then the one that will remain, you guys should try it out. You can send your answers to my inbox. I'll check it out if you're doing the correct. Okay. So let's solve the root of 3x minus 5 plus the root of x minus 1 is equals to 2. Okay. So root of 3x minus 5 plus the root of x minus 1 is equals to 2. Okay, so let's solve this one. Okay, so how can we solve this one? Remember, I said if you have two square roots on one side, take one of them on the other side. Okay, so it means we are going to remain with the root of 3 minus 5 this side. And then we are saying this is equals to 2 minus the root of x minus 1. And then from here, just square both sides. Okay, square both sides. So it means we are going to have 3x minus 5 is equals to, if you square this side, it will be 2 multiplied by 2, which will be 4. 2 multiplied by this one to be minus 2 root of x minus 1. And then this root of minus root of x minus 1 multiplied by 2 to be minus 2 root of x minus 1. And then now minus root of x minus 1 multiplied by itself, we're going to get a positive x minus 1. I hope you're following, you guys. And then this will be 3x minus 5 is equals to 4 minus 4 root of x minus 1 plus x minus 1. So let's leave the 1 with the square root on its own. So it means we're going to have 3x minus 5. This 4 comes to the other side to be minus 4. This x comes to the other side to be minus x. This minus 1 comes to the other side to be plus 1. And this is equals to minus 4. Okay, it's equals to minus 4 root of x minus 1. Okay, so here let's add the like term. So 3x minus x is going to give me 2x. And then I have minus 5 minus 4, which is a minus 9. And then plus 1 to be plus 8 is equals to minus 4 root of x minus 1. So what are we going to do in order to eliminate this root? We are going to square both sides. And this side again, square. Okay, so this one will be this expression multiplied by itself. Okay, so what are we going to get? 2x multiplied by 2x, we're going to get 4x squared. 2x multiplied by 8, we're going to get 16x. 8 multiplied by 2x, we're going to get 16x. 8 multiplied by 8, we're going to get 64. Then on the other side to be, this 2 is distributed to the minus 4 and the root of x minus 1. So what is minus 4 squared? We're going to get 16. And then in the brackets, we'll have x minus 1. Okay, so that's what we have. Okay, and then from there, let's put like terms together. So it will be x squared. This will be plus 32. X plus 34 is equals to 16x minus 16. Okay, so this will be 4x squared plus 32x, and then this one goes to the other side, so it will be minus 16x plus 64 plus 16 is equals to 0. So here now it will be 4x squared plus 16x plus, what is 64 plus 16? It's going to be 74, it's going to be 80 is equals to 0. And then we see that we can divide all this by 4. So we're going to have x squared plus 4x plus 20 is equals to what? 0. Okay, so can we find factors for this quadratic equation here? Let's try. So what numbers can we multiply to give us 20? And then when we subtract, they give us 4. So I don't think there are any factors here. Okay, so if there are no factors, we can use the formula method. You say A is 1, B is 4, and then C is 20. Or maybe we shouldn't have reduced this. So what is 4 multiplied by 8? 4 multiplied by 8. Okay, 4 multiplied by 8. 3210. Okay. Okay, so from here we can apply the quadratic formula, which is x is equals to plus or minus b. No, it's minus b, right? I've forgotten the quadratic formula. So it's minus b and then plus or minus, okay? So minus b plus or minus the root of b squared minus 4ac divided by what? 2a. Okay, so let's replace. So this will be equals to minus 4 plus or minus, what is b squared? B squared, it will be 16 minus minus 4, 1, 20. Okay, so we see that this will have no solution. Okay, because I can see the discriminant there, it will be 0. Okay, so in case the video cuts, just join using same link. So we have minus 4 plus or minus, and then there under the root, we are going to have 16 minus 80. So this equation here does not have any solution. Okay, so it means minus 4 plus or minus, and then root of what is 80 minus 16 to be minus 64. Okay, and we see that minus 64 does not have. We found the discriminant here to be negative. So it means this equation here has no solution. Okay, the equation has no solution. That's the final answer there on this E here. Okay, means this equation here does not have a solution. Okay, all right, so I'm giving you this task to solve F. Okay, you solve F, and then you can send your solutions to my inbox.